Thank you for watching this edition of the Unpopular Review. If you like what you're watching, please subscribe to us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at UPRYEPILW. Also, while you're at it, subscribe to our friends at Yep I Like Wrestling on the same social medias at YEPILW. Yep.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review Entertainment. Tonight we're reviewing a movie called Project Power, I think it was, or something called Slums. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host. We got Animality today. Look like you're eating. What's going on, Animality? See this Superior and Warlocks.
That's right.
Y'all get funnier and funnier with these names of y'all's. What's going on, everybody?
Good, just chilling, same old, you know. Pretty
good. Another live podcast taping, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be answering questions, reading your comments on air for all the people who are listening to us. And now we're going to stop talking about listening. We're going to start talking about watching because we had to watch Project Power this week. This was a choice, I think, by C the Superior.
Yeah, sure was.
It was trendy. You should change your name to C the Trendy. But it was a really interesting movie. And let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's jump right into it. I feel like I say that every week. And we're going to start off with a segment we like to call there goes the truck full of people who actually like this movie. It was the best of Steve's. It was the worst of Steve's. And See the Superior, I'm going to let you and your dog start off since you are the ones who picked this movie.
Well, first we want to get into synopsis, correct?
Oh, shoot. You're right. James, I forgot. Okay.
Poor James was going to let you.
Warlocks was using the Force with me. They're now Jedi. I completely forgot. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and start over with the synopsis. My mistake.
All right. The synopsis for Project Power. Mutation. It is the key to our evolution.
Stop!
No, that's not it. I'm sorry. There's a wrong way. Okay. So 3 lives converge in the city of New Orleans as a new and unstable street drug flood the market. With the ability to make oneself invincible and invisible, the New Orleans Police Department is quickly overwhelmed as crime begins to rise throughout the city. Policeman Frank Shaver decides to even the odds by taking power and becoming a regular customer of dealer Robin, who sells the new street drug. But behind the scenes, there is a mysterious figure known as the Major, who is tracking down everyone involved in distributing power.
All right.
Here's the name Project Power, right?
Yes.
See, now you're going to have to go ahead and start off with your favorite scenes of this movie.
All right. Okay, so I had more than one. So the first one that I really liked was, let's see, which one do I want to say?
Hard to find, right?
Hard to find. So the scenes where we're kind of not introduced to Machine Gun Kelly character. I want to say, what was his name? Newt. Yep. When we got to see his power like in full force with him and Jamie Foxx's character Art. He was kind of like hunting him down, trying to find, the next guy in the ring of leaders or whatever. And when you see him and he goes like full, like flame on, that was a cool scene. I thought it was shot really cool. Mm-hmm. And another scene that actually started off at my least favorite scene, but then as they kind of went on with it, it became my favorite. It was when Robin was in school and the teacher kind of called her out for being on her phone. And pretty much she was like, look, she started rapping in the classroom. And when I saw it, I said, this just takes me out of it. It seems really unrealistic. But the fact that they kind of flipped it and it was kind of in her mind, that's what took it from being my least favorite scene because it was unrealistic to one of my favorite scenes because we got to see that. Yes, it was unrealistic because it was her imaginations. What was that?
That was Robin on her bike.
Right. Zooming off.
Mr. Animality, do you want to take it from here, or executive consultant? Any favorite scene?
I'll let Animality.
That this is your favorite movie of the year.
I'll go after Animality. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, this movie was clearly Mortal Kombat.
What?
It was It remind. Oh wait, I still have my face mask on. It reminded me of Mortal Kombat, like everybody's animality. Came out, and my favorite scene in this movie was the pistol shrimp scene because I was actually educated on the pistol shrimp, and
Yeah, I had no idea what that was before this movie.
and when
David Attenborough. David Attenborough.
When he finally ate the pill in order to gain his power, and he eviscerated just about everything that was around him, which made some kind of sense, but didn't make full sense. But still, like that whole thing was just insane. So I was very entertained by that scene. And let's see, the worst scene. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the submarine part, like not the submarine part, the ship part. But it really reminded me of Three Ninjas.
Never heard of it.
And the one thing, oh wow,
You never seen that?
No, what's that?
Have you seen when they kick back?
No, what's that? It's a
Three
movie?
Ninjas. We just told you.
Okay.
Oh,
right. Yeah, I'm here.
Please watch a movie that's not trending, please.
Yes.
Kick back. You guys are pulling out these like old from the closet cult classics that nobody's heard of.
Everybody
You know how everybody's heard of it because your generation of 2020 and all that stuff. They're remaking them.
Comment if you've heard of Kickback. If you ever heard of Kickback,
Kickback. It's
please
Three
comment.
Ninjas Kickback. It's the sequel to
Three Ninjas Kickback.
Oh, Three Ninjas.
She don't know. She don't know nothing about Rocky Colt and Tum Tum. That's all right.
Come on.
That's all right. That's too young.
I know Rocky.
The
Rocky movie.
You know Hocus Pocus, but you don't know Three Ninjas.
Hocus Pocus is a fantastic movie.
For real.
And don't spoil it for the viewers. We haven't got to our Halloween.
I didn't say anything. Spoiler alert. I didn't say anything.
I will say this. Hocus Pocus.
It's better than Three Ninjas? Go ahead and say it.
I mean, this movie's better than Hocus Pocus. I'll tell you that
I was
much.
trying to save some points though when he said that. When he made
Denise,
that statement,
have you ever heard of Three Ninjas Kicking?
Yes. Wow.
I heard of Three Ninjas Kicking.
You know what? That's gonna be my next movie. That's gonna be my next movie.
Please don't. Please don't do it. Please
That's gonna be my next movie. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, I mean, I've heard of it.
You already had your one.
We don't need to revisit it. We don't need to revisit it.
That's the scenes where.
Yes, I want to see the grandfather kick some butt again.
What we are revisiting is this movie. So you already gave your best scene, Vic. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my best scene. My best scene is okay. Let me think. Okay, it's a funny scene, and this movie wasn't supposed to be that comical, but I'll say it was a comedy scene. When a woman, I don't know her name, little child, her mom was in the being harassed by the Robin. Okay, Robin Hood. Mom was being harassed by the cops or the FBI, where the heck they were, and then the other Robin,
Frank
from Dark Knight Rises. Comes in from the back and he decides he wants to act like the boyfriend of the woman. I thought that was pretty. What's going on, Patrick? How you doing? I thought that was pretty comical. So that was my best scene of the movie. Yeah.
Really?
All right, take it away, Morlocks.
All right. Well, there's a lot of hate going on in this movie. I don't know which should I go with the trends or should I go with my own opinion? I don't know. We'll find out.
Go with your own opinion. Always.
My own opinion. I'm going to continue to be me. I'm a maverick.
Yeah.
So my favorite scene, I did like it, just the way visually it was shot. The sequence when, and this is spoiler alert for those who haven't watched this movie. There's a sequence when they're demonstrating what the drug does to some potential buyers, and they put this woman in the tank, which is, I guess, hermetically sealed, and she has sub-zero powers, right? So they have it cranked up to like 96 degrees Celsius. Because her body is so cold, and it's only at such a high degree that she is able to feel comfortable. Anyway, things go awry, and there's a whole sequence when somebody gets impaled on a ice dragon, and the blood actually starts flowing through the dragon's mouth, which is really cool. But when the camera pans around the circular tank, and you're seeing the action kind of because it's obscured by, again, she's frosting the glass. So you can see Jamie Foxx's character who plays the major, and he's taking out people, he's getting hit, he's giving hits, people are shooting all over the place, and you're not really sure what's going on. So it looks like a traditional action scene in which a lot of things are happening at one time, but you're also looking at this woman and the fact that her body is going into overload, which oftentimes happens when people take this drug, because it's not that it's not regulated, it's that it's unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes people end up just dying like that, or they die slowly after it looks like it's gone well. Only very few people we see in this movie are able to handle the effects of what this essentially sped up evolution drug does.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool concept. The fact that it didn't just give you powers, you just don't know what you're going to get. It's like a gamble.
Yes.
I thought that was a cool concept, and also the fact that it's only like a 5-minute power, so you have to re-up, and which makes it addictive to those who take it and don't die immediately. But would you guys take it if they had one of those?
No, because
I knew what was going to happen.
The power, yeah.
But you don't know.
But that's
So
why would I do that?
Hold on, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Why would I do that? Because you got to remember, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like somebody said it could be one of Superman's powers, and I know what those powers are. It could be literally anything. And you mentioned Machine Gun Kelly's character, and I thought he did a good job. I haven't seen him in any other movies. I thought he did pretty well.
Spot or something?
Huh?
Hold up. That was
that
Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, that was Machine Gun Kelly.
I didn't even recognize that was Machine Gun Kelly. You know, I thought you were.
Yeah, me neither.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
But his character, he self-emulated. So when we first see him after the initial scene, when we see him, he looks like how you would normally see him. But the next time we see him, half of his face is essentially he has like 3rd or 4th degree burns, right? The effects of it. And that's because even though he can self-emulate, he doesn't heal from that. He's not immune to the heat and the effects of it. So he doesn't ever want to take the drug again. And only reluctantly in his sequence with the major, he takes it again. And we see him literally burning alive in order to have that amped up strength in order to fight the major. So to answer your question, no, there'd be no way in hell unless I knew exactly what power it was and it was something I was interested in, because there was one dude that just exploded.
Yeah.
There was a couple of dudes that exploded. Yeah. Like it felt like, and that part felt like it was calculated. You know, because that was when they were losing the match.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it. I feel like it's something that someone would do if they were either really desperate or like really like privileged enough to be bored with their life, that they're looking for any type of excitement. So they take that drug. And
I would disagree with that only in this sense. You have people who will do a couple of lines of coke, never tried coke before, you know, and that can kill you straight away. People who shoot heroin, and that'll slump you if it's working. Can you imagine if it works too well? So I know that there are people who do it. I'm grateful that I'm not predisposed to that type of party. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't take it in a pill form. I wouldn't take it on a spoon. I wouldn't take it in a line.
I mean,
that sounds like an adult. That sounds like an adult Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, I would not, could not take it in the vein.
That's
so yeah, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, me neither. Unless I knew, like Jamie knew. But I mean, that's
but he only knew because he was forced to take it.
That's true. But I mean, damn, to come like imagine like you take it and then you just some animal that you didn't know existed. Like they picked the pistol shrimp, which is pretty freaking deadly, because then I literally had to go on National Geographic and look it up.
Me too. I had to look it up after the movie too. I was like, what the heck is a pistol shrimp? But you know what? That's one of the things that I feel like they tried to take the movie sometimes in too many different directions. Like when it comes to it's a power pill, but no, it's actually like an evolutionary pill, and it does this X, Y, and Z. I thought maybe they just had two different directions for the film, and they tried to merge it last minute. That was one of my complaints, because it's the way it was marketed. it was kind of like superpowers, but then it turns later that it's more like an evolutionary thing for animals.
It would be superpower, not to cut you off, but it would still be superpowers in that the majority of people on the planet don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And even from, I'm going to say the source material, we're talking about X-Men. It's very similar to that. Everybody has the potential. They're all human, right? In that sense, some are just homo superior in that the mutant gene is there and it's not latent. But the problem arises in this, that I'm not a proponent of evolution. I'm not pushing this or anything like that. But to me, it's a big leap from single-celled organism to amphibian to mammal to ape to human, and then to human with telekinetic powers. I don't understand how evolution works in that sense, but maybe there's a basis. You know what I mean? What do I need to light myself on fire for? I don't get that part, but
I don't get it, but it's cool to look at. But you know what? Speaking of movies, I feel like this is almost like a prequel to that other Netflix movie that came out not too long called Code. I think it was called Code 8. Did anybody watch that about the like people like in the near future they develop powers, and then it's kind of regulated by the government,
almost like a South African thing or something like that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like the mutants were like lesser than, and they had to be registered, and they couldn't get certain jobs, and pretty much it was like that. I felt like it was almost a prequel. I
enjoyed that movie.
I liked it too. I thought maybe the casting was a little off, but
sure, why not?
I enjoyed the film. But what?
I felt so left out. Jay took a sip, and then Vic took a sip. I was like, hey, why not? Why don't you just take a sip? You know what that was? That was the worst part of this episode. Is everybody taking a sip? Now let's talk about the worst part of this movie. We're gonna go ahead and go right back to See the Superior. What was your worst scenes of this movie? I feel like you said a whole bunch because you went off on a tangent.
Oh no! Before the worst scene for me, well, okay, the one that I mentioned earlier was that later turned into one of the better scenes for me was when I thought that she was just rapping in class and it just seemed really unrealistic. But the fact that they switched it and said it was a daydream almost kind of made sense, and it made me one of my favorite scenes. But
she got flow.
Yeah, she was actually really good. I thought she was a really good actress, especially for that part. She did very believable. But as far as my least favorite scenes, other than that, the part where Jamie Foxx's character Art, he convinces her to go into like that grocery store because he's trying to find out who Big is, and once the fight scenes happen, he gets in and he gets into that control room area, and it was like he instantly knew what was going on. And it seemed like just a point in the movie where they just want to put exposition and just like an info dump, as opposed to really explaining how he knows this and how he instantly knew what was what as soon as he saw it. And if that was the case, what was the point of having to find it if he already knew what everything was?
Chrissy, I'm about to flame you, but I'll let other people go ahead. You know, I'm calling hypocrisy on that one.
What?
No, don't even worry. You sip your sip.
And somehow it's going to be regulated back to Thor.
Nope,
Vic,
not to Thor. Not to Thor. Somebody else in MCU.
The suspense, man.
Who just all of a sudden looks at a problem and knows how to do time travel, even though Hank Pym said, I'm not letting us start anywhere near my stuff so he can steal it.
I agree with you about Tony. I said, yes, Rocket is smarter than Tony.
That's after 22 movies.
I said it in Guardians of the Galaxy. Somebody find the footage.
Go vote on our Facebook.
Y'all have 0.22 seconds to finish this thought. Vic, go ahead with your worst part of this movie.
Watch the footage, guys.
Well, I mean, look, I was entertained by the movie. It's just there were certain things that didn't make sense, especially the pistol shrimp scene. Even though I liked that scene, it just didn't make sense because Robin was clearly close enough to be effective, but then wasn't effective.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, how is it that this little girl is gonna be able not take the pill and then be able to just just defeat all of these guys in this thing? Like that whole thing just didn't seem realistic when it came to her. And
Robin?
The other thing, another thing that came to Robin, I really enjoyed the character for what it was, but number one, she didn't take the pill, So that leads me to believe that there's going to be a part 2 of this movie.
Mhm.
And that might have just been because, you know, you don't get high on your own supply type of thing. It might have been because of that, but like there was just certain things around her that didn't necessarily make sense. So like, you know, that was pretty much it. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how Jamie Foxx was like, this was like Django Part 2 in certain scenes. Like he was kicking all kinds of ass in this movie.
I'm sorry, say that again.
He was kicking all kinds of butt in this movie.
Right.
It's too late.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hey, what I mean, how bad is that word? It's not an F word. So, like, really?
all right, so my least favorite scene in this movie. Where can I begin and where can I end? Let's go with the final act, the final battle scene between the Major and whoever was out there that got burnt.
Oh, that lady.
You're so disrespectful, yo.
Well, I'm just saying.
Whoever got burned? Okay,
Whoever got burnt.
Whoever got burnt.
Wasn't a fan of it. Thought it was a little rushed. Thought it was a little like, oh, I said this I think the other day with Captain Marvel and Superman in their respective movies. It was a little too. Is this guy still bothering you? He just shows up, takes a pill, and then everybody's dead. And
He's a
spoiler
pistol
alert. Yeah, well, spoiler alert. I think James's recast it is going to say it much about what that is. But so that was a terrible
Exactly.
thing. Actually, I think what this movie's problem is that I think they have a lot of good scenes in this movie that don't stay good scenes. Like it'll start off well, and then it's like, well, where did you go? What happened? I don't understand. Not that I don't understand what happened, but I don't understand what happened to make it suck so much where it has such potential. I'll even bring up one more part before we get to James and then subsequently get to a commercial. The chase scene between Dark Knight Rises Robin and the Invisible Woman. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it, because it started off so well and then it ended with him taking the pill, or I guess he already took the pill going in the longest 5 minutes in history. Mm-hmm. And he's so strong he's able to punch through concrete streets. Yet he's only giving dude a nosebleed. All right, no, it's not working for me.
Okay.
Well, I think so.
You like Sonic. Let's just put that back out into the universe.
Sonic also trended. All right, James, it's up to
with the gut shot. The gut shot.
Trended.
Well, I'll say all of you hit certain points that I agree with. I'll start with the last one. To Chris's point, they don't say it in the movie. They make it seem like they only get one specific power. But if you notice, all of them have a certain resiliency and a certain enhanced strength beyond that of a normal human. Okay. They may not all be impervious, but they all have an extra durability. That Invisible Man was clearly super strong, and what we would consider super strong, but they never said it. They just highlighted the fact that he was invisible, right? John Blake, as Chris calls him, was clearly, and that's Robin for those. Well,
Frank is his name in the movie, guys.
For those paying attention, but clearly he had superhuman strength in that one scene. Any other subsequent scene, he didn't have it. And here's the problem with that. His power was already invulnerability, right? Because he was shot in the temple and the bullet just bounced off. Now, if he was shot in the temple and he had that, plus he had the ability to crack concrete with his fist, then he shouldn't have had his blood vessels burst in his eye.
I think it's because the time was running out. That's what they showed the watch.
Chrissy, you'll have your chance to just love this movie at the end of the episode, okay? but I'm talking about physics. They're talking about evolution, right, and biology. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works, okay? The movie said one thing and it did another. It is what it is.
But they also said it's a drug, so drugs do wear off after time. So it's stronger when you first take it, and as time goes on, it weakens because it dilutes.
Salute to you for defending every man. Salute to you. Salute to you. You'll have a man's back even when it makes no sense. Salute to you.
What the man?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
This movie James is on fire tonight.
The only thing I will say is that was the longest 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, it's your turn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it was a very long 5 minutes.
Good.
But it's still a movie.
What happened to the drug? I thought the drug extended time too. No, but to Vic's point, right? It seemed like a mishmash of different ideas that they put in together, no pun intended, in this soup, right? And I don't know how they picked it, if these were favorite franchises that they like growing up or whatever like that. But you have these things where it's the story of a father tracking down his daughter, and there's a whole historical and social commentary on that, and they mention her by name, Henrietta Lacks. They mention the fact that blacks are used as guinea pigs oftentimes, or the poor are used as that, or people in the military. This is an ongoing issue. It's not something that happened in the way past that we need to get over it, or we don't know anybody who was ever used like that. No, this is an ongoing thing. And then you have superpowered things because it's a flashy sequence. And then you have this other story of this girl who is selling drugs because her mother has to have an operation. By the way, how much is the operation? Why didn't the daughter, who can heal and could do everything, the Phoenix, why didn't she just heal the mother? And let me keep that cat.
Why didn't she heal the mother? Because they were on the run. You see, when they said that they were leaving.
They drove away slowly. Did you see the end of the movie?
Yeah, because sometimes when you rob a bank, they don't go after the slow car. They go after the speeding car. That's when you get all the.
They went slowly away, and clearly it wasn't the same night. It was some hours had passed because it was nighttime when we saw John Osterman, and then in the morning time when Electro, when he left,
to lay low.
When Electro left with Phoenix. That was the daytime. So there was enough time to go to Ma's house and heal her, because as Vic said, this girl never abandoned his side, was there with him through jump, never took a pill, and saved his life literally, and his daughter's life, who he said he loved the most. Come touch my mother's head, heal her, and let me keep this money so we can move out of this place that has no functioning windows. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Neither did the script.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the concept was good with the animalities, because everybody has their own power. So
hence the name. Yeah.
Yeah, like because in the future they might elaborate a little bit more. We might see Robin's animality. You know, there's definitely an opening for more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that it definitely wasn't executed. You know what? Okay.
Well, it's time for our first commercial break.
I want to hear more about how it's going to be another movie after this, because Vic always knows that road. And I just like, now, granted, you're right. They definitely set up for another movie, but it's just always, that's always in game with you. No pun intended. That is always in game.
Yo, I didn't say that about Coming to America, but they're doing it.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, I just realized. Sorry, quick. When we come back, I'll tell you my least favorite scene. I didn't tell you that.
Did you want to do a 60-second before we go to a commercial?
No. I'm gonna do that this Saturday. This Saturday coming up, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after these very brief messages. Stay with us. I'm going to go with a really simple quote. It's not even a quote. I'm going to go with a really simple quote. It's not even a quote. It's more of a dialogue happening. What the hell? What happened to Vic?
You guys are making him mad.
No, Vic is getting backup. That's what he's doing.
I'm looking for my friends.
He's trying to get all his partners. Get all your partners, bring them out here.
Trying to build his confidence.
Trying to defend this movie. All right. Because it was cold, which led to Scotty not knowing what Matt Damon trying to look tough. And speaking of tough, this is tough to watch. Vic, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm Groot. I am Groot.
No.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, you said that.
And apparently Vic is Groot today. Vic is actually an animal because he's in beast mode right now. And he's not even with us. But ladies and gentlemen, back to our Popular Reviews Entertainment Edition, reviewing Project Power, latest movie coming out on Netflix this past Friday. Go ahead and give it a check out right here. We're joined by the executive consultant along with Cedar Superior, Animality, and Morlocks. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch up the segment. Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted to go one more with your worst scene, Morlocks. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. No, just a quick, my worst scene. It always bugs me in these movies when, and the worst scene for me is when Frank has the Major in the car. You know, he's arrested him, and Robin, who he's known, as he says, for half a year, is telling him, "Listen, you got it wrong. The guy, you know, is on up and up. He's trying to actually stop it, just the same as you are. Just talk to him, have a conversation with him." And for whatever reason, Frank, who any other time in the movie seemed like an intelligent person, he thought ahead, he knew what was going on, was like, "No, it's impossible. I can't be wrong." And I don't know if it bugs me that when they demonstrate that somebody has intelligence and then all of a sudden they stop being smart, or the fact that he was a cop in a position of power and he had somebody who he was just going to turn over and never even listen to him to find out maybe he knows something that I don't know and I should listen, especially in a movie about people who pop pills and get superhuman abilities. He thought it was impossible that this man could have a daughter that was being abused. And it just seems emblematic of a lot of videos that I've seen lately, or throughout my life, I'll say that way, where you have people in power and they know all the answers, except when it's a cell phone, or it was dark, or it looked like they were reaching, or the person made them nervous, even though they had 20 of their friends with them. So that was my worst scene. It bothers me because it really happens in real life.
It happens every day in real life. It definitely happens if you have that WAP. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
Bro.
All right, so we're going to go ahead to this scene called. It's going to be probably the hardest segment of the night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to hold you. It's called Quotables. That's what we got going on right here. Where you all have to give. You're going first?
I will go first.
Okay.
All right. C Superior is going to go first again. Take it away.
Yes, because I found a couple quotables. I felt that recasting was the hardest segment, but okay. So I'll just say just a few. Here we go. So this was the scene where Art is in the car with Robin, and he's trying to convince her, or pretty much make her go into the supermarket to find out what's going on with Big and who's the big person. So she's like, "Oh, you know, just take me home. I'm just a kid." And he says, "You're in these streets dealing. You ain't just a kid. You gave that up. You can't play this I'm just a kid card." Mm-hmm. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It brings up a lot of questions. Like if someone were to do that, are they no longer considered a child? You know, if they're doing it out of desperation, isn't it an excuse? It just brings on a dialogue after that. And I thought that was an interesting quote. And also there was, "In the real world, the power goes where it always goes, to the people who already have it."
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually fine. Good. I'm actually surprised you were able to find that out of a gold mine.
Because I pay attention.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, I can tell you who didn't pay attention. Okay, I can tell you somebody who was on his phone, making moves, creating rooms, trying to figure out how he's going to take care of some business, flirting around, eating a lot, playing video games, beating people in Madden, beating people in NBA 2K, WWE 2K, all that. And after I saying all that, I have one question for you. Mm-hmm. Am I lying? That's my quote.
Another great quote.
I didn't see that one coming. I should have seen that coming, but I didn't see that coming.
All right, who's taking the next?
Oh, I'll go. Mine was actually at the end of the movie, and it says, "This process is slow, normally taking thousands of years. But every
Stop.
Wait, I'm reading my quote. This process
Come
is
on,
slow,
bro.
normally taking thousands of years. But every few millennia, evolution leaps forward. That was my quote.
You guys,
You don't like that
I'm
quote?
such haters. Where's that from? 'Cause I know Chris knows.
Project Power.
It's from every X-Men movie ever made. It's in the beginning. When Sir
X-Men
Patrick
does not
Stewart-
hold the corner market on powers. Other movies can have powers too.
Chrissy.
Yeah, but they're copying off X-Men when they do.
Yeah, if somebody
Did you have to pop a pill in X-Men to get a power?
if somebody flies around in a cape, they compare them to Superman because Superman came out in 1935.
This
37.
Is it 37?
I'm
I
not
thought
sure.
Action Comics was 35.
I mean,
Tell us in the comments, people.
But I'm very rarely wrong.
37 or 35.
Well, anyway, they compare him to Superman, so it's natural that people will compare it to X-Men. I understand why Chris is confused. He thinks this quote comes from X-Men, but it comes from Project Power, according to you, right?
No,
Oh.
it's about powers from a substance.
From
It's not about
evolution.
being born
Evolution.
with a power.
That's what they said in the movie, evolution, right? In X-Men, how did they get their powers?
It's
you know?
But this is synthetic. It's not a real
It's not
bio.
synthetic. It's not synthetic. It comes from the daughter, Art's daughter. This is a biological
Quotables.
chemical that
Who's
they're
next?
taking from her.
Who's next?
We've
Anyone?
actually seen this movie in X-Men 2 when they tap into Stryker's son and his spinal fluid is being tapped out. That's how they have that drug. It's literally
There
the same.
are 1,000 movies that do the same thing about using one particular biology for such thing or another thing.
No.
Yes, even in that other movie with
That
Tom
scene,
Cruise.
that scene is literally from X-Men 2. Literally.
When are we watching X-Men?
Quotables.
Vic,
what's your quote?
When we start reviewing,
Okay.
When we start reviewing X-Men. Hold up. First of all, no, James ain't get away with that. All right, James got to do a real quote. All right, what is your quotable from this movie?
Oh, I'm sorry. From this movie?
Yeah, from this movie.
Okay. Mutation. It is the key to our evolution. It has enabled us. Why are y'all laughing every time I read my quotes?
You stupid.
I don't know what you want. Somebody else go, please. Somebody else.
You guys make me
Oh man, James is hilarious. I swear he's so funny.
Chrissy, I enjoyed your quote. I hope you enjoyed mine. I don't know what
I'll do a quote for you since you don't want to do a quote. I got another quote. I got enough quote for everybody. Y'all faking out there.
You don't need. I had a quote. I did a quote. What
You did do a quote. Vic, do your quote.
Go ahead, Vic.
Okay, my quote is
Mutations.
I think they got the formula from. Because that's what kind of led me to think right away, oh, they're doing a sequel. Here it is. Here's the little nugget that's going to that. When he said, where do you think they got the formula from? It was the daughter that made the formula for the pill. Because apparently she's that smart and all that. So then the next movie is going to be something about how she came up with the pill and all of that. So, yeah, that was one of my quotes in the movie. And the other one that I got was, why is he a bad guy? Because he's done bad things. You've done bad things. So, like, that was a nice little snapback from Robin to the cop. I appreciated that. I thought it was cool.
It's interesting. It always leads back to the sequel for you, Vic. Yeah, James, can you give a real quote in this quotable?
Am I right or am I right?
All right, I had to Google
am I
this.
right?
Nobody wants to take my word for it. I Googled this, Project Power, in the Google search. What does it say? You should use your full name more often. I like that name, Robin. There you go.
Get the heck out of here with that.
You don't remember that scene?
You get no point.
It's from The Dark Knight Rises in 2000.
I can't win with you guys.
We can't win. We're done with quotables. We're done with quotables.
He'll show
Fail.
you. Like, I thought we was like Batman and Robin. He did that.
We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the next segment of the show. It is called Recast It, where we take a person or a character of this movie and we replace them with somebody who will do just as good a job, if not better. And do we have any volunteers or whoever would like to start first? James wants to start first. James,
Don't be on that craziness. Don't be on that
I swear, if we
tomfoolery.
see Phoenix,
Chrissy, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have
Don't be
stock
on
in
that
Netflix or
tomfoolery.
something? Chrissy has a Netflix bias. I don't know what's going on. I enjoyed the last one that she picked. What was it? The sequel? No, what is it? The Old Guard Part 2?
the old guard. No, it's not. It's not part 2. Vic said it would be set up for. It's set up for part 2 if you listen to Vic.
It is. That's what it was. Listen, I was watching this movie and I said to myself, Frank Shaver reminds us of it. Because if you notice, people, if you saw the movie Black and Blue, right? The scene when the place where Machine Gun Kelly lived was in that movie Black and Blue, and it was shown heavily. That same place in New Orleans where they shot this movie. So I said to myself, Frank Shaver, I've seen this guy before, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Who does he remind me of? Who could play this guy? One guy. Look at that. John Blake. John Blake, aka Robin.
Dark Knight Rises all over again.
Look at. He looks like a cop. The detective. He's investigating something. You know.
He's maybe being typecasted at this point. He's always playing the cop now.
Listen, that check says he's not. Okay. So I would love it. I would like to be in Inception. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what's
I have one more.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh, two?
You rejected all of my quotes. I gave you 3 quotes. You rejected it. Now I have
outdone yourself.
Now I have 2 recasted. Now listen. I saw this movie. I kept waiting. Everybody said, "What is the Major's power? What is the Major's power? What is the major power?" He started going like this, and he was waving the people away. At first, I thought this reminds me of X-Men 3, when the Phoenix was able to deatomize everything except Wolverine because he healed so fast. And I said that movie made perfect sense in that logic, right? But if I say X-Men, listen, if I say X-Men, they'll hate me. They won't believe me. So I didn't pick X-Men, ladies and gentlemen. But who did that remind? And it's not Electro. It's not Electro. Chrissy, I know you thought I was going there. It reminded me of this guy right here. One of my most favorite characters, Dr. Manhattan. When he atomizes Rorschach, that's who he reminded me of right there. And I thought Dr. Manhattan could play a perfect Major because he had people around him who had no powers. He didn't need anybody because he could have just ended the whole thing in the beginning. And clearly by waving his hand, he could do anything.
But so, it kills him. He can't just use it.
This is why I recast it. Yeah, he killed those people on the boat. He killed all of them.
He killed himself.
He could control it because Robin was right there in the epicenter, and all she had to do was crawl down on the fetal position.
Yeah, that part didn't make sense. I'll give you that.
Okay. So Dr. Manhattan.
I will say Dr. Manhattan was very effective because he did like this, and instantly I wanted to disappear. All right, so who's going to go ahead?
My movie.
You know I hate that movie. Who's the next person who wants to go and recast it? Vic, do you want to go? Chris, you want to go, or should I go?
Okay, I'll go. So now I only have one recasted for this lady. And she was, in my opinion, the worst villain ever. And I feel like anybody could have played this role. So this is my recasting for her. Just a generic white woman, because that's what she was.
Wow.
You know, the people that you see when you look to go to the bathroom. that's who this lady is. Right? I don't know.
Right, first of all, take Karen off the screen. Second of all,
Karen. Yes, Karen. I should put Karen in here.
That was a good pick. But take Karen off. Take Karen off the screen. Take Karen off the screen. All right, but that was a good pick. That was a good recast. I gotta give you credit for that. And she looks like she could be in the sequel too. All right.
Yes, she can. More Karens. No, get like that. I don't know. She was just boring. Like she was whack. Like you know what I mean. Like I'm sorry, Karen.
She was. You know what? She was. I saw this movie the other day. And I can tell you with no uncertainty that I honestly forgot who the villain was in this movie. So when you popped her on the screen, I was thinking, who is this woman? Did she get killed in the first 5 minutes and I didn't see it? I kid you not. I was really, really that concerned. So
this is what happens when you're doing other things. We're supposed to be watching the movie. That's why.
She was like the top villain.
I was watching the movie, but it was so generic. Vic hit it right on the money. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Vic hit it right on the money because that was how generic this woman was. I thought that was a random walk across the screen role because when I thought the guy with the beard, it was like three guys I thought was the main villain, right? Mm-hmm. And then she pops on the screen. I thought MGK was the villain for a second. You know what I'm saying? I really did.
Because in life, just like in life,
she pops on the screen.
There's more than one villain.
No, but she's big
There's
bad.
multiple
right?
villains.
She's big bad though, right? Yeah, she's big bad.
She's not even big bad. She's just the closest head there. It's like this. The organization doesn't stop with her. She's not like once they killed her off, it's not the end.
Bad. You know how I know she's big bad? Because when he said, "Where's my daughter?" Who I'm gonna be honest with you, also watching this movie, sometimes I thought the daughter was a figment of his imagination. But anyway, so when he says, "Where's my daughter?" she's the one responded. Well, that tells me you're big bad. Okay, that's what you're telling me. You are the big bad boss man in this movie. And if you're the villain of this movie, the only thing that you are really a bad guy of is the fact you were in this movie and you made this movie not worth the money that I did not pay to get it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about my recasting. I don't know who I want to start off with. Oh, let's go ahead and start off with Robin, the woman, not the guy.
Okay.
All right. So Robin, in my opinion, stole the movie in this movie. Okay. I mean, I think she did. I think Jamie Foxx kind of phoned it in. I think he said, "Hey, this ain't Ray, so let me phone it in." And then
what did you just say?
I think he said, "This ain't Ray."
He's going to be playing Mike Tyson too in another movie.
I'm interested in seeing that.
And he's going to show up for that. He didn't show up for that.
Nah, that's not good for that. He's way too old for that.
No,
you don't think he could be Mike Tyson?
He can be Mike Tyson.
I think Mike Tyson needs somebody else.
Wow, Vic with the hate.
Jamie Foxx as Mike Tyson, as a young Mike Tyson.
You don't see it?
Are you serious?
I agree with Vic. I think he can play Mike Tyson now, but that's not.
I think he can play Mike Tyson now, not a young Mike Tyson.
Honestly speaking, Jamie Foxx would kill that role because he's going to care about that role. This role he didn't care about. All right, that's just facts. You can see it.
That's true.
You can see it.
Yeah,
you can see it. It was a guy that looked like Jamie Foxx.
You can tell that.
Is it your recasting or is it my recasting? All right. So, Jamie Foxx showed up, and a robot showed up, a stand-in. His stunt double showed up, and then he just phoned in his lines. He literally picked up the phone during COVID and said those lines that he needed to say. Right? So that's what Jamie Foxx did. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt says, "Hey, this is my script. No, this is actually going to be my script. It's just a recycled thing of Dark Knight Rises." And that's what happened, okay? But Robin stole the show for me in this movie. But I think she could have been recasted by someone who I thought played her character before. And I just wanted to go ahead and give her a little bit of respect. So because we don't talk about this actress enough anymore. And I have to talk about her because I was a big fan, still am a big fan of her. And so recast Robin. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm never ready with this stuff. Can you believe it?
But you're stalling like a pro.
To recast Robin, I'm the man. All right, so I could have read the comments too, but I'm trying to upload this photo. All right, there we go. There she go.
Oh,
bam!
Snap.
Yes. There you go.
Oh, joyful, Lord, we adore thee.
Yes,
right.
God
I
of
can
glory,
see it. I hate you.
Lord of light.
I can see it.
Right.
Oh,
So
we gotta watch that movie.
So now I wish
Act 2.
I wish I picked another recasting because it led to Vic singing. That was bad. And then also now he's talking about he wants to go ahead and review Sister Act 2. Nobody wants to do that, okay?
That shit is fire, bro.
If you want to talk about Sister Act 2, I want to go ahead and I want to reference something that Chrissy said earlier when she talked about the scene where she actually looked like she had a personality, and that's when she had the little dream sequence when she was, rapping on the teacher and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That teacher, generic white person. We already had Karen. Now we had generic white person, but he's there to help all the little ghetto students. So who that remind me of? Okay, so I had to go back to one of my movies, and that is this guy right here, John Lewis. From Chrissy might not know this movie, but High School High.
Wait, what's it called?
High School High, right?
Oh, man,
High School High.
Yes.
High School High.
That movie is
all right, that's my next movie. High School High.
Just like
We gotta watch this movie.
The ghetto kids in school. It's not always black, so I'm not even gonna go there. But you have the ghetto kids in school, and they're a mixture of all different types.
Oh, the internet knew that was a BS recasting, so they cut them off.
No, that was good. Chrissy, have you seen that movie?
What's it called?
High School High.
I have not seen that movie. No,
You
I
gotta
have
see
not.
that movie.
I've never even heard of it. I heard of School Days. Is that? I've never seen that though.
It's made in a different decade, and it's not a comedy. This one's High School High is a comedy.
So it's like Sister Act.
That one's like a dramedy, Sister Act, I would say. High School High is like a spoof comedy. It is.
It's
a spoof comedy.
It's like a Euro trip of
It's like, have you ever seen? There was a movie called The Principal. You ever see that one?
No.
There we go.
With John Belushi. It's like a spoof of that, where John Lovitz comes to the school.
What the hell are you doing?
And he's like the white savior teacher.
I'm nothing.
Like, yeah, it's a spoof.
Like most our lives living in the gangsters. Like that movie?
You really sang. No,
that was talking to a rhythm.
Right. Chrissy,
Yes.
we're on you. We're
on my recasting now, guys. So hush hush.
And Willie wants to let you know that it is High School High. He said that we're singing the wrong song. He wants to join so he can tell you what to say. But the comments work very well, Willie. So you're going to stick with that. But
my recasted.
Yo, we're gonna have to cancel NXT here.
We're about to start as soon as we're done with this.
So, if you guys remember, one of the big bads in the movie, who was mentioned by name several times, was this guy, Biggie. You might know him if you're a fan of Westworld on HBO. He does a really awesome job on that show, and he did a really good job in this movie. But I had to recast somebody, and I feel like who could play his role just as good, if not better, would be, drum roll please, boom, Benicio del Toro. Look at him. Look at him.
Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria.
Look.
Yo,
boom. He could definitely play Biggie, no problem. He's a really accomplished actor, really versatile. I think he would demolish this role.
Yes. I think you're forgetting to pay attention that people who actually know how to act are not really interested in being in this movie.
What are you talking about, Gordon? He can act.
Yeah. He didn't in this movie, but we'll talk more about that when we get to a final thought. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our recasted. Let us know what you think about them in the comments, or who you would think could play a character in this movie. So I want to hear that. He wants to hear that. She wants to hear it. He wants to hear it. We'll be back after these commercial breaks where you will find out what we're going to review on Saturday and next Thursday. Wow. You've got to be kidding me. I don't even know what that was.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs. Oh. I'm kidding. Look.
You going to step up or not?
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like.
Yeah.
I'm ready to party.
Oh my God!
He asked me last night.
What is happening?
So will you be my maid of honor?
Of course I will.
I'm very popular. Oh, I'm sure you are. Very popular.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This Saturday, we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man Far From Home. It is the final episode of this long universe that we have done, 22, and this comes to a culmination this Saturday, Spider-Man Far From Home. And this Saturday, we'll also talk about what we're going to review next time we come, the next series that we're going to do, which people, if they're paying attention, should already know. And then next Thursday, it'll be my pick, and I'm picking Bridesmaids because I thought that movie was pretty good. Can we do an entertainment episode on the Boys series on Amazon? You can do an entertainment episode on the Boys series of Amazon. I have no problem with that, Willie. We'll get together on that, but no, I won't be on that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Reviews. Entertainment Edition, reviewing Project Power, Netflix latest movie. You go ahead and give it a check out. And we are now into our final thoughts, and we're going to start off with C the Superior. As always, C, go ahead and take it away.
All right, so final thoughts. Let me go ahead and do one of these right here. And I better not get no flashing thumb. Oh, that's all I know for this final thought. But anyway, one thing I did enjoy about this movie is that they didn't really shy away from some of the gory moments. They showed like how the girl who was turning into ice in one of the scenes, how she kind of died from that. I thought that was really interesting because I think it was rated R, so they did kind of lean into some of the gorier scenes. I also like the fact I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack was really good. As I was watching the movie, I was listening to music, just getting into it. I also appreciate that it's a movie that I never seen. I go in there fresh. I don't have no kind of predisposed thoughts of this movie because that is something that we've all never seen. And I thought that was interesting just to go in and, you know, completely blind and give our thoughts legitimately and organically and originally, as opposed to something we've seen before and we're going back to revisit. I do like the action scenes in this movie. I do wish that they did show a little bit more of the powers. Like I think they maybe had like 4 people in the movie that showed that they had a power. And I guess because it's Netflix and it's not like, you know, one of those theater releases that they didn't have maybe the funds to have more powers being shown. But all in all, with all that being said, I really did enjoy this movie. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up for me. Who's next? Good movie. Y'all going to hate on it, but it was a good movie.
Chrissy muted everybody, so I don't know. Nobody can really volunteer about who's next, but it's either going to be James or Vic. So which one wants to take it?
You want to go?
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Well, this movie was this. That's what this was. Animality. The only thing it was missing was Shang Tsung. Because, you know, I mean, I personally, like, you know, since like I'm into science and sci-fi and stuff like that, I appreciated the concept of it. I think that the delivery wasn't necessarily that good. I mean, if for certain people, yes, but for this person, no, because she was really bad. I mean, really bad. But that being said, I am definitely interested in. Oh wow, I was muted. I didn't realize that I was muted. Was I muted that whole time? Okay, so let me continue. So what, you know, hopefully everybody heard what I said, but if not, then I just want to say that I'm definitely there were parts of this movie that
Let's go on to James here.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, it's
what happened? What's going on here?
Your mic went super fast. You were starting to talk like I wish this movie did, so we can get to the end of the movie. But anyway, you were talking super fast. Now you're talking regular. So go ahead, Quicksilver.
All right, I'll just give it a thumbs up. I'm waiting for the next movie. I'm interested in seeing the next movie, so I'll just give it a thumbs up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear what Vic was saying on that last one. I'm curious. I want him to come back and say his points that he just said. Vic, what did you say? I saw you put up the picture of the cutout, but what did you say about that? I couldn't understand it.
Well, what I was saying about her, I think that everybody was casted well in this movie. I don't think the delivery was as well as it could have been. I really like the concept of the whole situation because it's not predictable. Every single time somebody's going to take a, you don't know what's going to happen. So that's it's very interesting. Like it really makes you think like, oh, okay, what's going to happen here, especially with the pistol shrimp situation. Like that was the first time I ever heard about it. So I was interested in it. So now I'm interested to see where they could take it because they really left it open ended. So like the reason I gave it a thumbs up is because I actually want to see the second movie.
Okay, I'm glad that you resaid that because I think you made fair points. Despite the fact that I think it's derivative to a certain degree. But I think what you said was fair and true to the thing. I joked around about the recasting, but because that's just a segment we do. But I was fine with who was casted in the movie. That doesn't bother me. I don't have to recast the movie. I stand by my quotes though because they were great. The thing I loved about this movie is how much Chrissy was upset that we didn't like this movie. And boy, I will watch this movie all over again just to see her upset. Also, I like to say I'm drinking green tea. I want to know what the other hosts are drinking because everybody's sipping something. I want to know what they're sipping. But
I was drinking green tea also.
Oh, okay. But about this movie, listen, I think it's derivative, but it's not fair. It's not as if this movie is necessarily terrible, but it reminds me of the X-Men. And a lot of these people in this movie, they either get blown up, they set themselves on fire, they turn into a Mr. Hyde, or there's some kind of monster that you wouldn't want to be, right? That's why I call myself a Morlock. For those of you who are X-Men fans, you know where Morlock comes from. Somebody explain it in the comments, right? But if I didn't see this movie, would I miss it? No. When I watched The Old Guards, that was something that took it in a new direction. Obviously, I made fun of it. It reminded me of the Highlander in the sense that they were immortal for all intents and purposes. But I'm glad I saw that movie. This one, I wasn't upset that I saw it, but my life isn't any different. It's not going to make me think about whether or not I want to light myself on fire or turn into a giant monster or, turn myself into a popsicle until I'm dead. So I'll give it a thumbs up, but I'm not ecstatic about it.
Right, so this movie also got a thumbs up. So that's 3 thumbs up from your UPR entertainment crew. Let's see if I'm going to break that trend or keep it all 4 thumbs up. So stats-wise, this was a Netflix movie, so we don't really have any stats. It just came out. But it got a whopping 6.0 out of 10. So it's back and forth when it comes to this movie. Now, some of the good parts that I liked about this movie was the fact that it was thought out. It was a little bit different. I know some people said it was a mutant thing, but it was a little bit different. But, whoa, what happened? Oh, I'm supposed to get on myself. All right, so because of that, I did like it. It tried something. It had some star power to it, and it had a lot of scenes in it that actually were very good. Now, the bad part about it is a lot of the scenes that were very good actually turned out to be a little subpar in the end because it started strong, ended weak, like some people's sex game. So because of that, it takes away from the movie, to my point. And, I tease Vic a lot about it, but I can see where, hey, it's setting up. It's possibly setting up for a series. I'm hoping that woman, the stick figure, is not the main bad guy. And I think they mentioned that, like, this is going to be something more. Like, there's a whole clientele. And we never found out exactly anything more about the captain. What did they have on the captain? Is the captain really in it? Is the captain really being blackmailed? So many questions that I would like to see answered possibly in a sequel. So given that and given everything else I said, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a thumbs down because it sucked. And I don't understand why anybody else would think anything different. You can roll your eyes all you want, Chrissy, or do your head. This is a bad choice. This is a poor choice, okay? I know why you picked it, right? So actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I'm going to rewind. It's not a poor choice. I know why you picked it. I understand why you picked it. I just don't think it was a good movie. I did not enjoy it. I was not entertained by it. I tried to like it. I really tried to like it. I give you my word. Okay? Am I lying? I'm not. but it was not entertaining. I felt very underwhelmed by this movie, and I went in there wanting to like it. So when it comes to, and because you're going to mention Sonic and you'll probably mention Eurotrip, what I say about Eurotrip is I went in there with low expectations. I did not expect to like anything about the movie, and I ended up liking some things about the movie. Therefore, I had to give it a thumbs up. I actually went into this movie thinking I was going to like it, and I didn't. So I have to give it a thumbs down. It's so good that you muted. I'm pretty sure.
You knew nothing about this movie to even have expectations for
but
it.
From the trailer and from the people I saw that was in it, I thought I expected to actually be impressed, and I wasn't impressed. I was let down a lot by this movie. Therefore, I can't in good conscience give it a golden thumbs up from the man known as the executive consultant. It gets a thumbs down for me. I'm going to have to break that. It could be one of the movies that gets all 4 thumbs up. That doesn't understand. Willie says, if you don't know the story, you wouldn't understand it. Sir, at the end of the movie, I can tell you, you don't know the story completely. Trust me, okay? The story was all over the place. You know why? Because it was setting up for a sequel. It was a filler. That's why. Ladies and gentlemen, you watch Unpopular Reviews Entertainment Edition. This was talking about Project Power. Please join us on Saturday when we talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, the last movie in the God-long Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to be a very interesting episode as we end the Marvel chapter and go on to the next chapter coming in after that. And next Thursday, make sure you tune right in here again for Bridesmaids, which was a comedy back from 2011, if my memory serves me correctly. That should be a very interesting time. But for James down there, for Vic to my left.
Look at Chrissy's face. She hates the. Why do you? Bridesmaid is a woman's film. Why do you not want to watch
Oh,
it?
so because I'm a woman, I have to like a woman's film?
You complain
You
about
wanna walk that
Wait a
back?
minute, this was a woman's film.
Do you want to walk that back there?
No, I'm not. I'm standing by it. You complain that they're not strong.
What was a
women.
women's film? What was a woman's film?
Yeah,
He said Bridesmaid.
This was a woman's film. Power Pill.
I'm gonna have to.
Power Pill?
Yeah, like, you know, this was a woman's film. Like, look, it talked about there was a famous quote in here. It said, "You're young, you're black, you're a woman, you got power. That's your power." All of this stuff, and then Robin was kicking ass, and then Tracy was like the ultimate power.
Sorry, what?
And then the main bad guy was a woman. Like, you're young, you're black, you're a woman.
You should have gave that quote to James. He needed some help during quote of us.
You're young, you're black, you're a woman. The system is designed to swallow you.
My quotes were from a great movie. You've never seen them, but they were great.
Why do we think that they casted the same villain from Birds of Prey in this movie? I don't get it. I don't understand it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this. We'll see you next time.
She was in Birds of Prey? I didn't realize that.
She was in Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
word.
She had Aiden Christensen as the backup.
Bye.
I mean, you know
Good
what?
night. No, I don't.